things I might need one day, and what are the steps to getting rid of clothes. At the end of the day, especially like in American culture, we are turning our living space into storage space. And it's like all for the sake of something we might need one day. So, unless you're like living up in the mountains somewhere and you can't get, it's like I always say, like, that you can rebuy that stuff. Yeah, it is painful to do that, but for the amount of times that you'll actually have to repurchase something that you got rid of, it's so little. I promise you, like, once you get rid of things, you feel lighter and less of a burden almost right away. We see that with our clients. Is like we go in to do the edit with the client, and at first you can see it's a little bit painful and they're a little apprehensive, and it can be like a little bit of like where they're laboring over each and every decision about what to get rid of. And but it quickly, like, as soon as they start getting rid of stuff, you can see they like start, it's like a snowball effect, they start gaining momentum and like they feel lighter and they're starting to feel like that feeling like, ooh, this feels good to get rid of.
Yeah, if we aren't there as Tidy Style to help kind of get people through that process, have a friend over that is honest and will tell you straight up, like, you don't need that sweater anymore. It was a great sweater 2 years ago and you wore it every day, but now you haven't worn it in 2 years. So have some moral support and just kind of be in the mindset that you will feel so much better if you just let go of even a few items. A little at a time is great.
Say start with categories that are not so
Yes.
emotionally draining. Like,
Hmm.
okay, for clothes, that don't start there. Don't start with your closet. We find that most people getting rid of clothes is a little bit painful. People have emotional attachments to memorabilia. Don't start with that kind of stuff, with the photos and all that. Don't start with the hard stuff. Start with the easy stuff. So for me, that might be like your kitchen. Okay, let's empty out a junk drawer, sort everything, and then get rid of the things in there that you know that you don't use. Um, we love kitchen. We do a ton of kitchen
Yes.
organization. Kitchens are like a universal favorite, kitchens and pantries. I think part of that is because it is easier to get rid of that kind of stuff. You're not usually emotionally attached. So when we're doing a kitchen organization, we're clearing everything out and we're walking the client through, and they can see, oh, I have 7 spatulas and I literally only use 3. These 4 can go away. And it's easier. So it's
Yes.
easier to start with a space where you know there's not a lot of emotional attachment. Save that, and this is kind of a Marie Kondo thing, but save the emotionally charged items till the end. By then, you'll have like a little bit of like a flow going with getting rid of stuff. You'll have recognized how good it feels to get rid of stuff, and then you can tackle the hard stuff.
And I think a reason we always recommend to start in a kitchen is because that is kind of the forefront of where the family is gathering every day. You can breathe and work well in your kitchen and where your family's at. It's a great place to start, and it is easier to get rid of some of the clutter in that space. So,
Yeah, kitchens are great. And so if you're doing it on your own, like I said, start with like maybe under the sink, start with maybe your Tupperware section, your food storage section. Start with something little, but handle that whole category and then move on. So, how to organize a closet, and can you touch on how do you space plan a closet? So, yeah, closets. Closets can be a big undertaking. Closets are one of those projects where you'll see, if you check out our Instagram, it's at Tidy Style Home. We do a lot of closets, and there we have a lot of them on our Instagram. A lot of times we'll go through the whole process and everything, but how to organize is, this is going to be kind
a
of a
great
lot.
place to start is in one day. It could be an easy 1 day project. Switch all your hangers to matching hangers.
Perfect.
And then you can tackle it however you want. We always use either a velvet hanger or a slimline hanger. Actually saves a ton of space and gives you easier access so that you can slide things back and forth and look at things easier. So that would be a great place to start.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to say in closets, and we'll get into all this like so much more like in depth, but like with closets, I feel like it is important to have like breathing space. And
Yes.
once you set your amount of hangers that you're gonna organize with in the closet, don't go buy more. Just tell yourself, this is what I have. This works well for the space that I have. The the hangers can move freely. Everything has breathing space. I walk in and it feels good. Don't buy more hangers. You will find that you're feeling overwhelmed by the space before you know it, if you kind of start adding.
The great rule is one in, one out. So if you buy one thing new, get rid of one thing, and then you always have the right amount of
Yeah,
hangers.
yeah, that's great. How I do it is seasonally. So
Yeah.
like spring is coming hopefully soon. And so spring, summer, I like to do like a little bit of like a shopping trip, and then fall, winter. And so going into that, I am going to go in and get rid of like
Replace.
a handful of items, like 5 or 6 things, and get a new 5 or 6 things.
But if all your hangers are matching, it will be life
Oh my
changing.
gosh, it makes such a difference. I swear, you can have actually a really organized closet space, and if all your hangers are mismatched, it just reads chaotic, even if it is actually fairly organized. So that is a really good tip and a really good place to start, because if you have a team like Tidy Style come in and organize a closet, the way that we're going to start is we're going to take everything out, sort everything into categories, and then bring our client through for an edit. If you're doing it on your own, I would say do not do that, because again, you're going to be buried in clothes, and it's just going to get too overwhelming. So tackling it category by category would be really great. And the other thing I often share with clients is it is so much easier to edit when things are out of the space. There's a mindset shift that happens when everything's out of the space, and now you're thinking about what's worthy of going back into the space. What am I going to be moving into my future with? Take everything out of the space by category if you're on your own. So, like, okay, maybe we're looking at all the dresses. Take all those out. Um, Take a good look at each and every one of them. I don't think you necessarily have to try them all on or anything like that. But again, back to Marie Kondo, I love what she says about like touching each piece of clothing. You're probably familiar with like her question of, does it spark joy? For me, I just like to consider like, do I feel good when I wear this? Do I look forward to wearing this? Your closet really should be full of things that you feel good and you look forward to wearing.